Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here. Wow, we are so into September, aren't we? Today, when I am recording this, it's the first day of fall. So we are moving into that fall time of year, which is probably one of my favorites. Now, I love summer, so I'm never happy when when it gets super cold. I don't love being cold, but the fall is really pretty, especially where I live here in Ohio. We have like those crisp days where it's pretty and like the colors are everywhere. The blue sky is out, and then the evenings get cooler. It's been unusually warm. So yesterday I think it reached 90 degrees or close to it. So it's kind of warm, but I think next week it's going to be in the 70s, and that's good. Nothing colder for me. This girl doesn't want to be too much colder, but I do love the crispness of the fall and just be able to enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to those this time of year and be able to take in those colors and just that fresh air that we get. So we are going to continue through our series of working on these routines and habits, helping us set up ourselves for success for our life, to live that full and flourishing life. We've talked about, why it's important to have these routines and habits. We've talked about an evening routine and a morning routine. And this week, I want to talk about a healthy routine, ways that we can build our habits for a healthy life. And so we're going to jump into there. And a lot of these things that I'll talk about today, I've already talked about in previous podcasts because they are important. But I think it's important just to put it all in one little episode, just to say, hey, let's focus on what we can do to create that healthy, long life that we would want to live. So we're going to talk about some different reasons why it's important to have a healthy routine. And then we're going to jump into a few of the key areas that I think that we should focus on as we live that full and flourishing life. So let's jump in. Hi, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie Book, and I am so glad you are here. My hope is to help others see their life beyond where they currently are right now, move away from places where they feel stuck, and empower them to move into a flourishing life. Together, we will learn to recognize our true identity in Christ and apply a reframed mindset to combat the lies that we've been believing about ourselves. We will walk the journey of flourishing in our health, in mind, body, and our connection with God. I'm so excited to walk this journey with you as we create new habits of thinking and turn toward a life that is flourishing. So before we go in any further on the episode, I wanted to take a couple minutes and just say, oh my goodness, it has been quite the month or so for me. And so I've been a little less present on my social media, and I've been doing these not in the way that I normally would, planning things out a little bit farther. I did plan what I wanted to do, but I didn't get things ahead of time. So I'm really resonating a lot with what I'm sharing over the last couple of weeks with my podcast, because I have been lacking a lot in my routines and habits. And so I am super excited to jump into recreating all of these habits for myself personally. So one of the things that I wanted just to jump in before is just saying that I'm going to kind of start a whole reset of some different things with my health. So on, I think it's the 30th of September, that Monday. So I'm going on a really fun trip next week. And then when I get back, I'm going to kind of do a reset with my health. And so if you'd like to join me with that, this is just something that I'm throwing out there. I didn't really think much through this, but if you would like to join me in kind of a reset of health, just give me a message, send a message at steph.book on Instagram, find me on Facebook, or send me an email. And I would love to tell you a little bit more about what I'm going to do and invite you to join with me as we step into a healthy fall. So, okay, that's all I'm going to talk about for now. I'm going to take another sip of my coffee and we'll move on to today's episode. So I wanted to first start off with one of the most important reasons to adopt a healthy lifestyle, and that's increased longevity. Research shows that healthy habits can significantly extend your life. So let's imagine living life not just longer, but better too. Gandhi said, "It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver." our health is so important. It is precious for us. And I've often quoted Jim Rohn's famous quote says, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. I might have even done that the last couple weeks, but it's so true, right? We have one body. God has given us one body, one life to live. And so we want to be good stewards of our body. We want to take care of our bodies well so that we can do the things that not only we want to do, but the things that the Lord has called us to do as well. As I'm moving into an older age, I've recognized how important it is to focus on the longevity of my health. When I was younger, I was always just looking for, wanting to lose weight, to look a specific size or style or have a specific fashion that I could wear. But as I'm growing older, yes, I still want to fit in good clothes and have a healthy physique, I guess. But really, it's that longevity. Taking care of my body has become so important. And I want to continue to focus on my health so that I can live that full and healthy life, to live a flourishing life. So longevity is important. That is one of the biggest reasons for me that I think working on a healthy routine is so important, because we want to not only live a healthy life now, learn those healthy habits to have a healthy life to live in the current time that we're living, but we also want to be able to have that longevity, to be able to live out our lives well, be able to do the things that are on our hearts that we want to do, that we say we want to do, or the things that the Lord has called us to do. But we want to have that longevity. We want to be in a place where our lives can have that full life throughout our days. And so longevity is one of the biggest things for me. And I would think also for you as we look at the benefits of having a healthy routine. The next up is energy. Who wouldn't? I think I've even talked about that already. Energy. Who wouldn't want more energy? As we take care of our bodies, as we commit to working on the health that we have inside our bodies and outside, we're able to create that energy that we're looking for. We want to have the energy. How many times do you hear someone say, oh, if you could just bottle up that energy of that little one? Well, yes, as we grow older, our energy does fade a little bit, but there are things that we can do now, things that you can do to take care of your body that will give you that energy. And so having that healthy routine, bringing in these healthy habits will allow you to have more energy. And believe me, over the last couple weeks or last month or so, I have had quite the load on me of doing many different things at one time. And if I wasn't in tune with my health, I don't know if I would have been able to have the energy to do the things that were in front of me. I mean, you pull through, you do the things that you need to do when you need to, but I think that I would be even more exhausted and more worn out if I was not focusing on my health and the habits that I could do to make myself better. So as we walk through this healthy lifestyle, as we learn how to bring these healthy habits in, let's look at that as the energy that we can create to live that full and flourishing life. We hear so often as people get older, they spend their whole lives working and doing all the things that they need to do, but then they get to the point where they can finally retire and they no longer have the energy to do it, or they don't have the physical ability to do it. Now, I know sicknesses come and things that are out of our control will come at us at times, but we can do what we can now to take care of ourselves so that we can live that full and flourishing life. And when we get to that point of retirement or those things that are on your bucket list that you've always wanted to do, I want you to have the energy to do that when that time comes. And so let's focus on having this healthy routine so you can set yourself up for success, to hopefully take the hard work that you've done and allow you to live the full life that you have desired to do. So you get to live a full and flourishing life as you move on with life and age. Mark Twain said, the secret of getting ahead is getting started, right? So smart. Your body can stand almost anything. It's your mind that you have to convince. That's unknown. So as we implement the healthy habits into our routine, we have a lot less convincing, because the habits we'll create will be like an autopilot. And so we'll have less convincing to do and more of what do we get to do because we have implemented these into our life. So imagine waking up every morning and feeling revitalized and ready to tackle the day. That's what a healthy routine can do for you. So those are two huge benefits of a healthy routine. We could go on and talk about all different kinds of other benefits, the healthy heart, having, the energy to keep up with your grandchildren, all those things, doing the travel. And so many other health benefits we could talk about. And I'm not going to go into all of that. I think you get the idea. Having a healthy routine is going to help you live that better quality life so that you have the energy and the longevity to live out your life well and be able to focus on the things that are most important to you. So I encourage you, as we step into some of these ideas of things you can focus on, that you keep that in mind of what you can do, that this healthy lifestyle steps that you're going to take will move you into having that longevity, having that energy to be able to live the life well. So now that we have established why a healthy routine is essential, let's break down a few areas of what you could focus on to optimize your health. First one, balanced nutrition. I know you're probably not surprised, but a balanced nutrition means focusing on whole foods and balanced meals. When you learn to make wise choices with your food intake, it will fuel your body and allow it to have the energy and longevity we talked about. I like to help my clients learn how to have a healthy balance of foods. I'm not going to spend time talking about my program and what has worked well for me, but please reach out if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation so we could talk about what specifics might be best for you and see if what I've done in my life will help you. However, we want to focus on healthy, balanced meals, learning how to have a proper size plate, a good ratio of proteins and veggies, and the right amount of carbohydrates and healthy fats, and so on. I want to encourage people not to eat a certain way to lose weight, but in a way to learn how to fuel your body well. And I love that word fuel because that is what food is meant for, right? It's meant to fuel our bodies, to give us what it needs, to have that energy that we need, to be able to give us the brain function that we need, and so on. So healthy diet is so important. Proper nutrition supports overall health. It helps maintain a healthy weight, and it can even improve your mood. Think of your food as your body's fuel. The better the fuel, the better your engine runs. So we want to make sure that the food that we are bringing into our bodies will serve us well. Now, I'm not saying you could never have a, piece of cake or have an occasional drink if that's what you choose to do. But we want to do those in moderation. We don't want to look at things as we can't have, but the ways that we are fueling our body. We get to make these choices so that we can have that energy, so we can have that longevity. Hippocrates says, let food be the medicine and medicine be thy food. So smart, right? Let the food fuel our bodies well. And I find that the more that I am fueling my body well, the less of other things I need, even less supplements. Now, there are some supplements we need, but I think the more that we can do to fuel our bodies with the right balance of foods, the less we need to go to those supplements and even some medications, because a lot of our body can be fueled well and done so through food. And Wigmore says, the food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Yes, that is so true. So what you are putting into your body does make a difference. And again, it's not about so that you can lose weight. It's not about so you could be a specific size. It really is about fueling your body well so you can live that full and flourishing life. So we get to have the opportunity to do the things that we want to do because we're fueling our bodies well. So try to look at it not as a punishment of I can't have these things, but I get to have these healthy foods, because once you step into that healthy life, once you make those choices that are going to fuel your body well, it's amazing how much better you feel. And then you no longer have those as much need to want to go to those other foods. Now, sugar is an addiction, and we're not going to talk all about that today. So sugar is going to bring you in. Yes. So we have a lot of different things we can work on to work on those cravings. But if we focus on what we get to do for our bodies, that we get to fuel our bodies with that healthy nutrition, it will make a difference. Next up is regular exercise. Again, I know this is an area I've also focused on before, but I cannot stress how important it is to focus on healthy exercise and the consistency of movement. They say it's recommended for at least maybe 30 minutes a day of physical activity on most days. This doesn't have to mean like hitting the gym for an intense workout. It could be as simple as taking a little brisk walk or taking a dance class or even doing some gardening. In my program, we talk about NEAT exercise, and it's basically those movements that you do that are moving your body, but not necessarily a physical exercise. So looking at ways that we can move our body in a physical purposeful way of physical activity, and even just those ways of, standing up while you're folding your laundry, or walking from one side, filling the basket up, folding your laundry while you're standing up or over on one side of the room and then putting it in that basket on the other side. I know that seems silly, but that would give your body some movement. So find ways that you can move your body in your day-to-day life, as well as finding some time that you can do some regular exercise. Your regular exercise promotes cardiovascular health. It boosts your mood, it helps release endorphins, and enhances your overall well-being. And it's also a way, to break that monotony of the day. That's why our watches, will tell us, right, to stop and stand, right? Because our body needs that movement. Sometimes I used to think that, I can't stop what I'm doing because I'm going to lose the focus. But often when you get up and you move your body, you stand, you walk around the house once, you do a little dance break, whatever it is, it actually allows your brain to function better and more clear. So when you sit back down, you are ready to focus more. At one point, cardiovascular exercise was most talked about, most promoted. But I think that a combination of a cardio along with strength training is key, especially when we're looking at that longevity of health. Research has shown that those who work on building that strength that they have now will be able to have more longevity in the movement of their body later on. I've seen so many people who have not been able to work on their strength, or they didn't know. And as they age, they lost more and more strength. We lose muscle once we're at the age of 30, we start losing that muscle mass a lot faster. And so we want to be able to do the things that we can to continue to strengthen our bodies, so that's why atrophy comes, when people haven't moved, and then they have the less that they can move, then the less muscle that they have. And then it just has to a point where you can no longer really do the things that you want to do in your day. So we want to build those muscles. We want to build that strength. If we want to live that full and flourishing life, then building in some strength training is important. I'm not going to give you specifics on the podcast. If you have questions, I could do my best to help you. I'm definitely not an expert on strength training, but I've noticed a significant difference as I've worked on regular strength training and making sure that I'm fueling my body well. So these all kind of come hand in hand, right? A balanced diet combined with a regular exercise can really be your secret weapon to boosting your energy. Think about it. When you nourish your body with the right foods and then you keep it active, you're setting yourself up for success in every area of your life. Vince Lombardi said, "The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will." I would say willpower is important, but if we can flip the switch on how we see movement with our bodies and a healthy routine, we'll have less need for that willpower and more focus on what we get to do to provide the energy and longevity we desire. So no cut on his quote, but I just think that the more that we can create these routines and habits in our life and find a way to set these into our day, we're going to be able to set ourselves up for success. Most of us don't forget to brush our teeth because it's routine, because it's habit. And so I want to be able to help you create the same thing with your exercise. Exercise is a celebration of what your body can do. It's not a punishment for what you ate. That's an unknown quote. That's so good. And movement is a medicine for creating change in a person's physical, emotional, and mental states. That's a quote by Carol Welch. So next on, we're going to move to sleep. Now, again, I've talked about this too, but sleep is so important. I used to say that sleep was overrated and I'll sleep when I'm dead. Literally, I used to say that all the time. Sometimes I do feel like sleep gets in the way for someone like me who has a lot to do. I want a lot I want to accomplish, but I have learned that I do function better when I have some proper sleep. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours. I don't think I could do 9, but some of you could. 7 is about where I'm at. Sometimes I'm more at 6, but I'm working on it, But sleep, that sleep is so important for your health. It helps your body recover, your body repairs, and it rejuvenates. It's important for your body to have that time. So adequate sleep is essential for mental clarity, emotional balance, and physical health. Think about how you feel after a good night's rest versus a night of tossing and churning. It's really like night and day. So sleep is important. Okay. I like this quote, but I'm really having a difficult time reading it to you. It says, "Sleep and enough of it is a prime necessity. Enough exercise and good food and enough are other necessities. But sleep good sleep, and enough of it. This is a necessity without which you cannot have the exercise of use nor the food. Edward Everett Hale. Oh my goodness. Good words, but that's super confusing. I hope that you enjoyed it. And Beyonce said, having peace, happiness, and healthiness is my definition of beauty. You can't have any of that without sleep. So there you go, Beyonce. Great words from her. And then last up is hydration. Another one I talk about all the time, but drinking plenty of water throughout the day keeps your body functioning properly and maintains your energy level. Yes, hydration helps with your energy. If you are tired, try drinking some water before you go to that soda or extra cup of coffee. Just try it. Just try it out for me and let me see if you can see the difference. So why is staying hydrated important? Water plays a critical role in digestion, nutrient absorption, and even temperature regulation. Plus, when you're well hydrated, you're more alert and you're ready to take on whatever the day throws at you. Water is the only drink for a wise man, said Henry David Thoreau. And water is the most neglected nutrient in your diet, but one of the most vital, Kelly Barton. Oh my goodness. So water, we know where our body is made up of mostly water, but our body needs that water. We want to make sure that we hydrate our bodies well. I'm not going to talk a ton about this just because I know I've talked a lot about it, but this is essential. This is one of the essential parts of your healthy routine, is bringing in that hydration throughout your day. I do have a free PDF of some of the benefits of drinking water, so I'll put a link in the show notes, or you can DM me at steph.book on Instagram or email me at stephanie@stephaniebook.com and I'll send it your way. So friends, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to encourage you, to start small. Pick one area to focus on, like I've talked about before, and then we can gradually build up to a routine that works for you. How can these healthy body routines, healthy habit routines, how can you implement them into your morning and evening routines that we have talked about before? We've talked about how to end the day and how to start the day, but where can you implement some of these other habits within your day? Obviously we've talked about bringing in that healthy movement, and it could be in the morning, but maybe it is the afternoon or it is in the evening, but finding those times to bring these most important healthy habits into your days, starting off your day well with fueling your body well with your food, but then doing that throughout the day. And bringing the hydration in throughout your day. So these habits are things that, obviously exercise is something that you probably mainly do one point of the day, but then we talk about that neat exercise that we could finding those ways that we can move our body throughout the day, standing up and dancing, or folding the laundry, doing it like back and forth style or something like that. So finding ways to implement these different things. And then obviously sleep is part of that evening routine, but it is something that sets your body up well for the rest of your day if you've slept well. So I appreciate you listening, and I hope that today's podcast was helpful to you. As usual, please pass it on to anyone you think it might help. And my goal is really just to want to help you flourish, help you live a full life, a full and flourishing and vibrant life, thriving life. And I know that as we implement these different areas in our lives, we will have a better quality of life, which will allow us to live more flourishing life. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a fabulous week. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me as we walk towards this life of flourishing. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and would love, love, love for you to take a moment to subscribe to my podcast and maybe even leave a review. Likes and reviews like yours will allow my podcast to be seen by others and hopefully help them as they walk through their own journey of growth. So until next time, please remember that you are amazing, my friend, and you are meant to live a life full and flourishing. Take care.